So I'm sitting with one of my new representatives, Elena, and concept I wanted to review that we just covered is I'll call it things I can do versus things I can't do. And this goes back to the model of, what decision do we make, or we make a decision rather, and then the actions we then take, they're not like random, there's no coincidence to them. The actions are just designed to have us be right about the decision. So, I'm going to broaden this a bit so this can relate to anybody, not just in the business that I'm in or that we're in. So, but I could still use an example, and this could apply to a bunch of things. So, anyway, the company that we're in, we contact people we know in order to sit down with them and show them a product line. And somebody needs to make a list of who they can contact. So, if the decision becomes, I don't know anyone, I put it up on the board here, so my chicken scratch, but I want to illustrate. What do we got here? Anyway, so the decision becomes, everyone I know lives elsewhere. I use the Asher example in Israel, and so I don't have people to call. And that's really what happens. We make up our minds. I don't have people to call. It's a decision. I put it in quotations. And the actions I then would take is, let me go ahead and list, here's everything I can't do. And then a lot of times that becomes the main focus of the conversations. I can't do this. I can't call them. They live here. I can't do that. I can't. So that's, again, this is I can't versus what I can do. And so just consider that if we're focusing so much on all the things we can't do, that's keeping us right about the original limited view, which is, I don't have people to call. This could be applied to school, right? It's like, hey, you know what, I can't pass. And then we then list all the reasons why. I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't go to class, I can't understand this topic, I don't have time to study, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have that, I can't. You get the idea, and that keeps us stuck. So step one is to change, or be willing to at least change mind to something more like, I have people to call, or I can still pass, or I can still do well. And then it's amazing how all of a sudden the conversation shifts over to all the things we can do. It's almost like, well, again, in our business, we make a list of people that we've met, and if I have in my mind that I don't have people to contact, or I don't have people to contact. There's a thing I'm doing with Shadowbox on the internet now. We all know what this is. When you click on something and it kind of opens up something in your screen without going to the window, and everything else goes into the shadow in the background. It's called a shadow box. I just learned that technology. I was all excited about that. So if we have a list of people and we made up our mind, I don't have anybody to contact, consider that what's going to jump out at us on that page are all the people we can't. They live elsewhere, or they're too young, or all the reasons why we can is what's really, we're kind of like flagging those things. Those are things that are being highlighted, essentially, in our minds. Almost as if we have a physical highlighter and we're going through and highlighting those things. The second we change our mind to, I have people to contact, or I can succeed, or I will succeed, it's a whole new mindset. What jumps out at us now are all the things that we can do. And so Asher, is from another country, and he only had a few people to begin with, and it's natural quite often to constantly look at what we don't have, especially when other people around us have access to resources that allow for them, in our minds at least, to have an easier time at it, versus just accepting what we have. So, and it's like, okay, there's always going to be can'ts. There's always going to be reasons why we can't do something. For us to devote energy listing and brainstorming those things will not allow for us to succeed, because all it's reinforcing is this decision of can't do something, impossible, not likely, all those things. So let's put all of our energy into just constantly brainstorming what we can do, what we have access to, what's at our disposal, what resources, do we have? Because that'll reinforce, the decision of I can, I will, it's possible, it's likely, and so on. So, anyway, the topic of this video again is, what's up, Jonathan, two ends? How you doing, my man with Master Plan? So the topic of this video was I can versus the I can'ts. So, practice this muscle today. Take a look at some projects that you're dealing with, or some things that, you want to get done today. And let's make sure we're focusing on all the things we can do in order to move things forward and have it be a favorable, positive outcome instead of all the things we can't do. Because no matter what we look for, we're going to find. Again, no matter what we look for, we find. That's really it. And that's our, because we love to be right about what we make up our minds about. Have fun.